Good afternoon or evening, everyone. The Global Voice of Angels. Can everyone mute their mics? Thank you. We'll start over really quickly. Good afternoon or evening, Global Force of Angels. Thank you for joining our Alliance Reboot introduction call. Today is Saturday, January 17th, 2026. So I don't know about you guys, but I am still flying high after yesterday's moonspot and continuum updates, the slew of public articles flowing out, and the awesome call revamping QSI's beginner training. So the picture is pretty clear, crystal clear where we're heading. So this is a perfect time to reboot and revitalize the Alliance channel, transforming it into a highly functioning global hub. So let's find out how. You guys ready? Let's get started. Elle?
Right. Thank you, Laura. Yeah. This is a super, I've been really looking forward to this call because as Laura alluded to, we are launching Alliance Reboot. And as Martin said in his post today, he coined the slogan MAGA for not make America great again, which we will help do, but make Alliance great again. And that is what we are definitely going to do. So let's take a look at what the word alliance, what is the definition of alliance? Let's start with that because I think that can tell us a lot about where we're going. Okay, so alliance, a definition for alliance means a union or partnership formed for a common purpose or benefit. A union, right? A union and partnership. That's what QSI is all about. So if we move on and thinking about alliance, because part of what we're wanting to do is we're really wanting to reframe whatever our definition of alliance may have been, and there have been many, whether you've been in alliance for a few years or whether you just arrived 2 days ago. Everybody has a conception, a working conception of what alliance has meant to them. But where we're headed, we're going in a brand new direction. So one way to start is to take a look at, well, why alliance? Why does alliance even exist? And so if we look at a visual representation of QSI as a whole, you'll see that the blue circle in the background, that's QSI, or what I refer to as QSI land. Within QSI land, there are varying gathering spaces. And these are places where nodes convene for a specific purpose. So you'll see here in the purple, we have Dowgie, Global, Opres, individual quorums, the unis. These are all spaces where nodes have relationships that are ongoing. But there are only 2 places in QSI where the community as a whole, or most of the community as a whole, can congregate. And that is global or global chat and alliance. Now, Alliance has, as of today, we have 461 members in Alliance. So what that represents is it makes Alliance a key intersection or crossroads for a certain type of node, and that is servant team nodes. And why am I making that distinction? Because if you're here on this call today, then you're part of your quorum servant team. And if you're part of your quorum servant team in Alliance, that means that you have stepped up into roles that require the utmost commitment and dedication to your quorum for the purpose of helping your quorum strengthen both the quorum itself and all the nodes in it. So your commitment and your allegiance, so to speak, to QSI and to our mission is a very strong one. So we want to optimize that. We want it to move in a direction where we can take advantage of Alliance's unique positioning as a place where we can all collaborate, communicate, cooperate with each other to form even stronger relationships and bonds that will allow us to also use Alliance as a functional tool to better foster training, lessons that are being learned in other parts of QSI, and be able to use Alliance as the bridge into our respective quorums to help everyone in QSI level up, whether that's with their healing, whether it's with other learning that we're going to be needing to have as we try to get to, not try to, we are definitely in the window where we are going to, in the next few months' time, go where we have been wanting to get to for some time, and that is to Moon Spa. So, but that only happens when we are all working together as one to really drill down and help each other grow, heal, learn, and learn to come together and work together as a team, because teamwork is how we're going to make Alliance great again. It's how we're going to make QSI's mission, bring that out to the world. And so that starts today with each of us on this call. And I'm going to pass it over to Yoki. Excuse me? Oh, okay. I'm going to pass it over to Yoki now, who's going to drill down a little bit further on what each of these purple spheres, or some of these purple spheres, represent, because the relationships that are unique to Alliance are really key and are going to be very important in helping transform Alliance into the powerhouse that we know that it has all the potential to be and will become with everybody's help.
Thank you, Elle. You guys, I'm like Elle, I'm super, super excited for this call. And I feel like and parts of me feel like it has been a long time coming, but the greater part of me knows that divine timing has called it to come about now. And so with that, if you guys remember back in 2023, Emily said that our favorite word by the end of the year, if anybody remembers, was going to be bridges, bridges, bridges. And so I was thinking about it this morning, and from 2023, where we were learning about all of the various stellar bridges, here we are in QSI in 2026, and we are very intentional and focused on building out our own internal bridges. And so the diagram that we're looking at now speaks to that very thing. And what this is about the interconnectedness within QSI. So one thing we definitely want you guys to walk away from this call today is how critical and how important you all are individually and as the Alliance team. And as Elle mentioned, everyone present and that will review this call have stepped up into leadership positions. And with that, with all of the various bridges that we're working on rolling out this year to bring about that interconnectedness, we also recognize that there needs to be support for the supporters. You guys are at the forefront of guarding, teaching, facilitating, communicating, supporting the quorums. And so from this call alone, we have, oh my God, worldwide reach. Can you believe it? Worldwide reach on this one call alone. So you guys are so critical and so important. And so part of the goal for this year is to be able to bridge into these various groups, Dowgie, operas,
I have to put
unicorns. You guys be careful to make sure when you come on or you stay muted so that we have a clean recording. So we want to kind of just highlight very quickly the touch points within the QSI community and how it's going to affect you all and what that support is going to look like this year. So actually, Nicole, if we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so first we're going to highlight the Dowgie team. And Dowgie, as you guys are familiar, they really focus on structure and oversight in operations. They help to really establish our procedures, because essentially, if you guys think about it, what we are building is something that has never been built before. This has never been done before. And so Dowgie is so critical, and the Dowgie nodes are so critical and important in their function, because they are really establishing that baseline for protocols and procedures and implementation that helps the structure globally for QSI, so that we are, so that we're just kind of like moving like a well-oiled machine. Okay, Nicole, we can go to the next one. So let's take a couple of look at Dowgie just a little bit closer. So the Dowgie team, they function, if we can use this analogy, as builders, and they establish framework and structure utilizing the Stellar Core principles and best practices to build functioning quorum DAOs. And so Dowgie is going to, as they've been very, very present and involved with the quorums and helping to get structure and function and cohesiveness there, they are also going to lead this effort in bridging into Alliance, so that each of you as servant team leaders have that support, so that you can in turn bridge that support into the global reach that we are, or your individual quorums. So there'll be a very strong Dowgie presence, Dowgie trainings, and some additional avenues or ways to be able to kind of anchor in some lessons and strategies going forward. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for that. Okay, Nakora. Next, let's take a look, just a high view at the Opera's team, the Opera's workstation as is known as of today. Okay, and Opera's, as you guys know, is really about the mission. And one thing that I really love to highlight and stress is that Opera's is not just about the healing. Opera's is what the acronym says, Operation Restoration. It is about the restoration of all things for humanity and beyond. And so whereas our focus right now is on the healing piece of it, healing is really just kind of like getting us into the gate and into the door, because from that, so many things are established and anchored within us, so that true restoration can happen within us, within our families, our communities. Will be able to bring that restoration to the world. And so we can go to the next slide, Nakora. So what the Opera's team is going to do, the Opera's team is going to work with Alliance to help with more hands-on than what has presently happened with the global community, is going to work more hands-on and directly with the Dowgie team to be able to bridge into the Alliance team as well. And so this is where the collaboration and communication that Elle mentioned is going to be so critically important. So to this point, Alliance hasn't been dormant, but it hasn't had the action and activity that it could have. And so one of the things that we really want to be intentional about this year is building up the collaboration within the team. So as you as servant team leaders come across different issues or different challenges or different tasks for yourself or within your quorums, we really want to be able to build the cohesion within the group to be able to support one another. So what this does essentially is it decentralizes the function of the unicorns. It decentralized because the unicorns were coming in and offering a lot of support when healing or certain issues, dissension or distortion needed to be addressed within the quorums. So as we bridge these various groups within QSI, we really want Alliance, because the potential and the potential is there for the team to take up to decentralize the work, essentially, to take on some of the load. So to be able to support one another and each other's quorums, to not be so isolated or siloed to your particular quorum or region, but to really
You muted yourself, Yoki.
I don't even know how that happened. I didn't touch a thing. We have a ghost. But we really want for Alliance, I don't know the last thing you guys heard, but we really want to see Alliance become very energetic and active in supporting one another so that we're not so siloed and contained within our own individual quorums or regions, but that we really begin to integrate with one another to support one another. So whereas one quorum may have overcome certain issues, to be able to take that knowledge into other quorums and with other servant team leaders to just pretty much just to support. And so operas is going to act as facilitators and support in the area of healing and restoration as well. So the operas team will be present, which their operas knows that are already a part of Alliance, but will be very intentional this year to be present in supporting in the effort of healing and restoration. And so this just kind of helps us to build the house and dress it and make everything, you know, pretty and restored again. All right, so yeah, Nicole, we can move on. All right, so Alliance. Alliance, I think I pretty much covered most of what I want to say about you guys, but it's also important to understand that you guys are also going to be critical in helping to teach and support the global community, so global chat as well. So we do see a lot of that happening already amongst various nodes when, you know, people come in with posts about certain issues or pressure tests or when we see distortions, but the support that will be coming into Alliance, we also want to be able to strengthen the Alliance team to be able to support beyond the quorum level, but also into the global level. And I think, Nicole, if we can, yeah. So this just shows the touch points between the various active groups within QSI. And we really, this was a phrase that Martin actually coined. It was the global force of angels. And I love that. And I had to just throw it into this slide because I think that's important. But this just kind of highlights some of the touch points within the QSI community. The importance of Alliance. I want to stress that Alliance, this team, this quorum slice, super, super, super critical to how QSI moves forward because you guys have eyes over the whole of QSI. So we just want to be able to grow, to align, and to get that resonance to the point where we can hold the light and to be able to support other nodes, other quorums, other individuals, however that may look, and be able to push the mission forward with cohesiveness, with unity, and us being aligned and just really just working as a unit. So with that, we're going to move on and I'm going to pass it off to the next presenter. Just want to say love you guys.
All right, that's me. Thanks, Yoki. Thanks, Elle. Basically, what I'm going to say is mostly just amplify a lot of course, what Elle and Yoki said. But I'm was really focused on the right here, right now. Alliance has existed for a long time. And so why are we, why are we talking about it now? I always think that's a divine timing and something to really pay attention to. We sort of had some conversations end of November. And we just started talking about Alliance and we're there seems to be a little bit of a lag. Could we be using this space more? Do people know how to engage in this space? And it was pretty much an instant yes from we need to really re-energize the space. We know how important it is for the QSI community. And it was bing, bang, boom. Okay, we're gonna have a call. Let's get everyone pumped up and ready. So I'm super excited how many we got, almost 170 on today. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So quick history of Alliance. For those that weren't around maybe a couple of years ago, it was really a space to meet and connect. So it was for admins, either before they were about to start their training, and then of course afterwards to ask questions. You got to meet other admins. So you didn't feel as nervous or alone in your role. And eventually we got into like some collaborative projects. We like got into our regions and got to do, I remember like a bunch of us did a presentation on liquidity a while back. And it was a really important space for updates. So it was like anything that we needed to like kind of bring to our quorums, it funneled through Alliance. So it was a really important space. It was also a lot of fun at times. Had some laughs, and that was the space to like get to know some nodes on a deeper level. And so now, like we're really rebooting it. It's so much more than that. We've got so many people in Alliance. We've got all these teams, as you know, Yoki and El went over, that play such a huge role, and they're all a part of Alliance. So it's going to be very exciting. We got folders. There's like already so much structure there, and so now we're just like re-energizing, re-engaging with this space. So communication, of course, that's kind of a main pillar for Alliance. It's a space where all important updates like funnel in through from all those teams that we mentioned, right? From quorums too, like you may bring some great lessons from your quorum that others will then funnel out into their quorum. So it's such an important space for communication and for us to stay connected with the information coming from all areas, right? And lessons and updates, and it'll help us to all be connected in one space to maintain alignment. As you know, Yoki and both El said, decentralization and support. So we really are at a place where we can be decentralizing so much more. And it's really, we're here for everyone to feel supported and also to support one another. So that like support piece is going to be huge over the coming weeks. And I really feel like we're ready. Like we've been putting in a lot of work. And so it just felt again like the right time to like revamp Alliance, give it the energy, and let everyone step into their gifts. It's a space for all of us to kind of notice each other's gifts, like where do they, like where do they really shine, and then be able to like support them and just like keep going, keep doing the work. So so that's one pillar. If we can go any forward to the next one. All right, so building stronger connections, the bonding, usually like one of my favorite parts. The more that we can create Alliance to be that place of connection and bonding, and not surface level, like we're at this point where we're really like we're going in deep now. We're really getting to know each other, and to be able to support one another like within our quorums and build like, now you're connected to that quorum, whether it's, within Opres or Doggy or, all the things. Alliance is such a huge part of that. So it's going to be fun, and we've got, anyways, maybe I'll save that for this next part. Then of course, connected community. So I think actually both Al and Yoki said this, like no one is working in silos. And so even though, yes, there's the other structures and these other things, no one is in isolation, and no one should ever feel left out or unsure of like what one team is doing or what's going on. And so that's again where we were like, oh yeah, okay, Alliance is really this place to be able to give that information like constantly, and for people to really feel like they're in the know, they're in the flow, and it's a hub for everyone to connect. So again, why now? It was just like, like why now? And I really feel like we have been trained, and I really feel like Alliance was a big part of our like initiation in a way for those that were a part of it a few years ago. We've really been doing the healing, we're mission ready, and so it just felt like the right time to give this space the energy, the resources, the training. And so there's lots coming down the pipeline. We've got a game plan so everyone doesn't feel like I don't know what to do now that I'm in here. So that's not for today, but we've got a game plan in place, and Martin will speak to a little bit of what's coming down the pipeline. So yeah, with that, let's make Alliance great again. Let's have some fun, and I'll pass it to Martin.
Oh, thank you, Jenna. Thank you, everyone. Great presentation. Well, there is 4 different calls basically coming to Alliance in upcoming close future, in upcoming weeks and months. And before I start describing them a little bit, I want to just again say how divine timing that is, because at the end of November or even in December, we were not really talking about Alliance that much. We didn't know what will be happening in January, and all of a sudden, all conversations were pretty much coming back to Alliance. And also Opres was wrapping up their operation in December and kind of celebrating New Year's Eve and all of that. And yeah, they were also discussing involving Alliance into conversation more. So all of a sudden everybody was talking about Alliance, and it was so divinely timed that we just basically decided to, okay, let's just kind of reboot the entire channel, because all the servant teams who are coming to Alliance are already committed nodes, and many of you guys, we've been here for years and years. So we had a couple of conversations. Some of them were doggy, some of them were together with the operas, with Liana as well, as we went there in a few weeks ago, and we end up with basically 4 calls which will be happening in Alliance through this year, and many other probably collaboration and ideas which will come down the line. So we'll go with the first one, and the most important one, Dell Press call. So that this is the main call which will be happening in collaboration between Dogi team and Opres, and basically the Opres nodes who are operating now in Florida or operating online and helping Lenny and Kawi and working in that space will be sharing their lessons, their experiences, what they went through, how they worked through their pressure tests, and all kinds of things related to Opress, and they'll be sharing that on a course called the Opress in Alliance. So this is basically bridging of Dogi and Opress into Alliance and decentralizing both functions more directly. So we'll be not talking only about healing, but also how we can then bring that to our local quorums. And this is the first call to start straight after introduction call, which is today, and it'll be the first one to go in. Maybe within a week or two, we will see how Opress is doing and what's happening with their content, and if they are building something already for our first episode. And based on that, we will again schedule the call, and the first one will be Dalpress call, and we will take it from there. So it's a shared lessons and to providing support for Alliance in partnership with the Dogi team, and Alliance nodes will be basically empowered to carry these lessons and support into their own local quorums, and also to facilitate and support that healing and restoration in their local quorums. We sort of thought about a recurrence of once a month kind of call. Again, this is just an idea now. It could be every 3 weeks. It can be every 2 weeks. We'll see how this will go. As of now, we decided on monthly basis. And yeah, it can easily change and after first call. We will see how much help our need is there and how long those calls will be as well. So we'll try to review every single call and see if there is more call needed within a shorter period of time. So that will be a Doppler's call, and it's the first one to start after this introduction. Okay, next slide. Second slide is totally brand new, and I think very much needed because Alliance grows so much. So we have, I think, 461 members now, and I can see that only 1/3, just a little over 1/3 of nodes are here from Alliance. So this is an orientation call for Alliance. Basically, this will be introduction to Alliance, like new members coming in, and we don't often get any introduction into it and what is where, and sort of you just go around and try to find out what's happening in every subcategory and all those projects which are ongoing there. So this is an introduction call led by Aura, which is a part of the Dogi team. And it's mainly about reviewing what Alliance is doing, how big global hub is this becoming, communication, connectivity, engagement, building the trust, and just growing as a node and bringing that information as well to the quorums in the future. It's important, yeah, of course, to adopt those best practices and knowledge, and basically the bridging back to the quorum and inspiration. Identify talents within, so that will be all happening within the orientation call. Also, the fact that we have so many subcategories which are constantly being, there is constant communication and different projects being done. We never know with the new members coming in. Maybe they are very inspired, they want to help, and they didn't know where to start. And so this introductory call is there to show them, hey, this channel is about that, and this is a new project. Maybe they are still looking for additional nodes to help. Maybe partially, maybe part-time, maybe full-time. Maybe they need, somebody to build the presentations, and you are great at it. So it literally serves everyone who is new in Alliance to show them where to start and where to ask questions, where will be the best place to ask questions, because that sometimes might be an issue, especially when you're working on a phone and you go through all those channels. It's plenty of them. So again, review opportunities and projects. who can, people can engage in them and on a global level, of course, because Alliance is mainly global. Recurring as needed. I think that there is still some schedule for Ninja David of how many members are coming to the Alliance on monthly basis. So this is basically communication between Laura and Ninja David to assist and to assess what amount of people are in, what new members are in, and if they need any support, and if the call is actually needed. So we schedule. Obviously, it's not limited to new members only. So you guys, if you are newer in Alliance or you just want to go through that call, by all means, just step in and we can be on that call as well together. I think that will be happening probably once a month, I'm assuming, because there is every month there is a chunk of people coming in. So this will be ongoing for at least now for a year to make sure that everyone who is coming to Alliance has at least general idea what's happening in this global hub as we are growing together. So that's the second call. Let's go to third one, Nikora. Third one. Okay, this is a funny one because obviously I came to Alliance quite late. I wasn't admitted to Alliance until I think December 2024 or January 2025. And I was always under the impression that Alliance always had like Alliance calls, on a weekly or monthly or a bi-weekly basis. And so as I'm talking to Emily about it, she's like, no, we never really had like regular calls, in the past. And I was like, okay, my bad. But I realized that actually this is very much needed now. So you want to build a trust between each other. You want to get to know each other. We already met multiple times, some of us in different regions. So this call is basically ongoing global effort call Alliance where all the nodes who are available coming together from each quorum. Obviously, there might be many more nodes from one quorum than another, but basically each representative provides updates on their quorum or their projects if they are in charge of certain projects. This is specifically designed for every single representative to update and make some summary of what they're doing or what their quorum is doing within 1 to 2 minutes. Obviously, we have I think 50 quorums, around 50 quorums plus probably another 10, maybe 20 projects. So when we put this together, we are almost on 1.5 to 2 hour call just to go through the updates. And that can serve in many different ways. First of all, we will get to know each other. Second of all, we will get more comfortable on camera as well. And third of all, we will also maybe pick some ideas from different quorums, which you were never thinking before. And now you saw this quorum doing it, and maybe you want to bring it to your own. So that summary will be basically ongoing. It's more like a recap from every corner of the world where we are operating. And it's basically collaboration of the projects as well. Rotation there will be with the different moderators. So again, we want to make sure that it's not just us who are maybe comfortable on the camera, but other people who might be new to the camera or new to kind of moderating the calls to come forward and to try to moderate call and just get their experience, because we should all have that experience. So there'll be multiple different moderators coming in and moderating through those calls. Reoccurring probably bi-weekly, maybe monthly. I mean, we can start with bi-weekly. We just have to wait until Dobrev's call will start first. And then we will go with that kind of probably some sort of frequency of 2 weeks. Because I'm not sure if you should go lower than that. There's not so many updates within the quorums. There's more updates on a global level. But again, we will change it if we need to, and if there is some sort of feedback. As of now, it looks like bi-weekly call. And 1 to 2 minutes per person, per quorum, per project to update each other what's happening in QSI globally. So that's a third call. Now we have one more call, most complicated one, which will probably take a little bit of time to put together. And so we will do some heavy lifting on a doggy section and try to put this together. So this doggy workshop. Obviously, we have AOD training, and that's mainly for admins to get a little bit of idea what they're supposed to do in their quorums, and it takes multiple weeks to go through. But there is not necessarily direct support in terms of training per se for a regular servant team member. So the idea there was to create a workshop somewhere where all servant team members can come in. They just have to sign up for specific class. And so it's available to all of them. Obviously, all 70 members who are not helpers, they are fully committed to be in QSI, therefore in Alliance, and those workshops are for them. As of then later, they will come probably to the public in our quorum as well. So it's basically about interaction, discussions, practical exercises. This is not just some sort of presentation. Everybody is sitting, nobody's talking, only the moderators are talking. On the contrary, it's more about exercise and practicing the skills we need to get. The guidance from different facilitators. So we will have different facilitators for those types of calls and workshops, and also, of course, opportunity to ask questions directly. Uh, Again, we are still just working through the different topics, which could be very useful. This will be ongoing and we will have to be very agile. But as of now, we have something around Telegram settings and permissions. The probably very important one for older or even new members, even for myself, I many times forget. Zoom calls, how to do Zoom calls, simple Google Drive workshop, and how to build slides, how to even download slides in PDF. Yeah, sometimes it might be difficult as well, so for some of us. A little bit about our proposals as well as voting and moderation of the quorum, which is another one which should be more talked about, how we actually should moderate our quorums and not just be there and share messages. That's about it. So moderation is more than that. And also we have one speaker engagement type of workshop, which we already have a couple of facilitators. So we will try to work through those and put them together and then delegate those to those facilitators to build their workshops. Once that's ready, we'll be able to offer certain hours, certain times where nodes from Alliance can sign up and go through those workshops. And obviously, we don't really know if it will be weekly or bi-weekly. It depends how many facilitators we will have, how efficient and in structure we will be with those calls. But we would like to keep them on at least for a year, to make sure that everyone who needs some sort of training or support, they have questions, or they want to just work through it to get more confident in their task, they're able to do so. Obviously, multiple assigned facilitators, and we'll announce them once we know more. But this one is most difficult to pull it off from the ground, so we have to structurally work on that. So therefore, we have 4 calls so far, and yeah, I mean, there is a couple of other things which we are planning to do with Alliance, and many things were already mentioned by Yoki, L, and Jenna about Alliance becoming a center of it. I mean, this is supposed to be our goal maybe a long time ago, but in divine timing, we are all coming now together. It kind of makes sense as well because lots of healing we did on individual and also in collaboration through last year to now make it perfect start for Alliance to become really close nodes in fully in trust to each other. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I think that there'll be other I think structures in Alliance in terms of Telegram, or some of those topics might be reshuffled. Depends how much we are using. Some might be archived. And obviously, we'll be way better in communication on what's happening in Alliance. And those updates will be coming from all of us together on those regular Alliance calls as well. So much more communication, way more direct than before. We know where to ask questions, what calls will be running. So we want to make sure that it's a fully decentralized space where people who are able to step in, they're able to get those skills they want to, and then run as a moderator, run to their own quorums, and also most importantly, to then go from that experience to their own quorum and share what's happening in Alliance. So we get more people on board as a servant team members. Now, this call itself, is quite simple. It was basically introduction of what we are planning to do. And it was quite direct and very easy to actually exercise that. It's not very long. Usually we got used to 6+ hours calls, which is not really the case this time. And also we decided to open up for questions too, but in this case, we will do it in a line so everybody can see the questions, everybody can actually read the answers. So if I can ask you to post your questions in Alliance, in a general chat, under the intro of the call post itself, which was published yesterday. So we have it in one line, and we'll be answering those questions as quickly as we can. And that's pretty much all from us, I believe. It was quite simple. Hopefully you like it, what we are planning to do. And there'll be lots of more collaboration happening definitely this year, which will, put us to the moon spa, I guess, very, very soon. So with that being said, guys, I'm happy that we have 171 people here, which shows, how quickly we can actually pull that off if we do it together. Thank you very much. I love you very much, and I will see you in the chat very soon.
Love you all.
Love you guys.
Guys,
Guys, have a good
guys,
day.
have a nice rest of your day.